Hello there everybody, I'm Mr. Game Pie, and once again my Let's Play anniversary has arrived. It's the end of the year 4, and we've had a pretty interesting year, so let's look over it once more. My first series of the year was Powerpuff Girls Mojo Jojo A Go-Go, and it ran from August 25th through August 31st. It was a short, simple series of this side-scrolling shooter game. I brought along my friends George, Austin, and Jordan, as we all have been fans of the show, and we would be able to bring along various memories and experiences to talk about. This whole series was actually put together over the course of a day, and was more of a casual outing than anything else. Still, we had quite a bit of fun with it, and it was actually the first time all 4 Gamer Watchers worked on a series of videos. The next series was Super Mario Sunshine Vs. 2, starting on September 22nd. It ended quite some time later, on May 18th. This series was a response series to Tyler and Josh's Super Mario Sunshine Vs. 2. Fortunately, as I had already done a Super Mario Sunshine Vs. myself at one point with Austin, the title was still appropriate for myself as well. It was my first time getting 100% on the game, as previously I'd never obtained all the blue coins. Indeed, getting all those required several episodes near the end dedicated solely to that task. I brought along a variety of co-commentators to keep things interesting, as I had said pretty much everything I had wanted to during the initial verses with Austin. George and Jordan were the most common co-commentators, with Austin occasionally appearing, and newcomer Zach showing up later on. Zach was also partaking in this verses, and became something of a personal competitor to me. Ultimately, I tied for 10th place with the Green Fire GC at 20 episodes, while Zach got 12th place with 21 episodes, Josh took 13th place, and Tyler took 14th place, meaning that both Zach and I were roughly on Josh and Tyler's levels. The series ended on May 18th and took place during a good portion of the year. Banjo Kazooie Versus started on October 7th and ended December 16th. In this series I raced 8-Bit Sonic 1, also known as Zach. The first episode was actually the first time we talked to each other at all. It took us a little while to get used to each other's rhythms, but after a while we did, and I feel like the series went pretty well overall. Unlike in a versus with Austin where one person stays ahead for an extended period of time, in this versus there was actually some good back and forth. At this point, Zach is doing his own Let's Play the game, and I'd say he's doing a most excellent job with it, probably his best series yet. Let's Play PacMan The Ghostly Adventures 2 started pretty much the day it came out, October 31st. I didn't finish the game until May 27th, but I did have a break quite literally halfway through the series between November 9th and May 19th. I'm a huge PacMan fan, and unlike many, I actually enjoy the show the game is based on. That said, this game is incredibly bland, and doesn't give a whole lot to naturally discuss. If it was incredibly good, that would be one thing. Heck, if it was incredibly bad, that would at least be something interesting. But as a whole, the game is mediocre, meaning that a lot of the time there just wasn't a whole lot to say about it. I did bring in Jordan, George, and Zach at various points to help with this, but as a whole, I'd say this is probably the weakest series this year. Mega Man 7 Versus started January 6th and ended on February 9th. This series took place during a break in Super Mario Sunshine Versus that occurred because Josh and Tyler themselves took a break from it. I raced Zach once again, and while he proved to be a most excellent challenge in Banjo Kazooie, he wasn't as much in this game. He did take an early lead, mainly because he was accidentally playing easy mode, where enemies have less health all around, allowing him to move through them faster. But ultimately, I knew what I was doing and had way more experience with the series in question, allowing me to take the lead back still fairly early on, and get a solid curb stomp afterwards. Even knowing who wins now, I'd say it's worth watching just to see what happens between us. Let's Play Kirby and the Rainbow Curse started May 28th and ended June 20th. This blind Let's Play was recorded the day the game was released, but wasn't actually released until quite a bit later. I played as Kirby, and Jordan played as Waddle Dee throughout this adventure. As a whole, we had a good time, and did things quite skillfully. We didn't bother obtaining all the collectibles, but one set of things to get that we did focus on was the diary entries we found, as we found those to be quite adorable and informative. We're both very familiar with the Kirby series as a whole, and even played the game that came before this one, Kirby Canvas Curse, to make sure we were prepared. The Robot Master Numerical Run started June 22nd and ended July 23rd. In this series, I uploaded 80 episodes in the course of a month. I went through all the Robot Master levels of the classic Mega Man games in numerical order. as the run's name would suggest. For the most part, this wasn't too terribly difficult, but there were some points of contention, particularly in Mega Man 9, where one almost has to play the game in reverse weakness order. Each video was one level, meaning that videos went up in roughly 5 minutes, allowing for mass uploading, as even putting up for a day was still only 20 minutes of footage. I used special weapons constantly, trying to show how each was useful, even weapons many consider to be useless like Topspin, and Charge Kick, and Power Stone. Kirby Superstar started on July 24th and is still ongoing, but is likely to end around August 10th. This is actually the first time I've had a series go through my Let's Play anniversary. In this series, I have Jordan as Player 2, using the Helper. We have been obtaining 100% of the game, getting every treasure chest in the Great Cave Offensive. As always, we're huge Kirby fans and generally know what we're doing when it comes to gameplay. I can't say a whole lot else right now, since only about half the series has been released, but it will still be a good time. One of the things I'm most proud about this year is the fact that I've consistently uploaded videos all year long. I didn't have any major breaks. As a result, while the number of videos I've released has consistently decreased with each year, this year I've actually made more videos than in year 3. That said, the number of projects I've worked on has decreased, with only about 7.5 as opposed to last year's 9. This is likely because for most of the year I was working on once a week Versus series, and it was only at the beginning of the summer that I focused on daily series again. Another thing to note is that this year I didn't work on any Sonic related projects. This is something I definitely want to fix in the coming year, and I plan on the first game I work on after Superstar to be a Sonic game. This year also brought Mega Man back to my channel for the first time since my first 2 Let's Plays, which is good because that's another one of my favorites. I haven't mentioned this yet, but Jordan has become my official Player 2 for the Kirby games, and thus will be appearing in Let's Plays of games such as Dreamland 3, and if I decide to do Kirby's Epic Yarn or Return to Dreamland again, probably even Amazing Mirror if we find a way to properly set that up. Almost all of my series this year had consistent co-commentators. Only the Mega Man Robot Master Miracle Run had none at all. Looking back, I think this is a rather extreme situation, and I will likely be working on more solo projects this year. Though to note, I do still have a few plans on co-commentation for various videos. So yeah, that's this year in a nutshell, and what I plan for the upcoming one. Year 5 looks promising, and I hope you all enjoy what I have cooking up. So until next time, stay sufficiently awesome.